What's going on, everybody? It's your boy C-Zar, and we are talking about Cardano today. Hit that like button, you guys. Subscribe if you want to see more content like this, and let's get into it. Okay, here we are. Here we are chilling at about 94 cents right now. If we look at this thing on a maybe on a monthly time frame, let's start out there. No. Let's look at the weekly time frame. We'll build out there, okay? If we're looking at this here, you are finding support on your RSI. You are getting overbought. You are not getting oversold. You barely got oversold, and you're repulsed by it. When you're getting overbought and you're repulsed by the oversold zone, these are very bullish environments, you guys. Let alone whenever you're overbought and you're repulsed by anything under the 50. That's very bullish. So we're looking for a move that does extend into the overbought zone. The last two times that it happened, it happened here, very bullish endeavor. The last time here, very bullish endeavor. You're looking to do that now, and it looks like you're starting it off the same exact way. I wouldn't be surprised in the least you're down 17% this week. I wouldn't be surprised in the least if by the end of this week you are up in the green, if not neutral, right? You're on your way to new cycle highs, or not new cycle highs. Yes, new cycle highs. Not new all-time highs, but new highs relative to this cycle, yes. Overall, I like the weekly RSI. I think it looks like it's in a very good posturing. Higher lows, higher highs, staying out of the oversold zone, living in the overbought zone. We love to see that, and just keep that up. I think that's good. Looking at the monthly time frame here, you kind of have this, it's almost like a parabolic shape in the RSI. I wouldn't call it that, but it just has that nice rounded bottom there. Bouncing off the 50 is good. Getting overbought, bouncing above the 50 is good on the monthly for sure. Price action looks good. It looks like what you had here at the bottom at your bear market lows was a broadening bottom pattern, a broadening wedge, and you've broken out of that pattern, right? So make no mistake, guys, you have broken out of your bear cycle low consolidation phase. You've even back tested it for support. That's actually really good. That's a good thing. And it might not seem like it to anybody who bought the top once the news came out earlier this month, but Cardano as of now is up basically 49%. So if anybody's discouraged on Cardano, let's just look at this for a second and understand where we are. You broke out of your bear market consolidation phase. You've back tested it as support. You found support. You're up 48%. You can't tell me you haven't found support. You've dominated this area of resistance as support. Absolutely. It's not going to stop here. Understand where you are. I know it might be sad. The week is down 16%, and if you bought the high, that sucks for you. I'm not trying to be mean, but that does. It sucks. It sucks anytime that you buy the high. I've been there. I've been there this cycle. I'll probably be there next week. It happens all the damn time. We did call this high pretty well. I'm not trying to toot my own horn this week. We were looking for something that was in this area, but but here we are now. Even though we're down 17% this week, remember where you are on the monthly, okay? We are only 5 days into this month, you guys. Not even a full 5 days, and you're up 49%. Cardano is anything but bearish right now. You're finding support on the macro levels that matter. Your RSI is finding support at the 50 on the monthly. Very significant things. Do not mistake it, guys. Cardano is not done. It's going to new all-time highs. I know a lot of people are upset about the crypto reserve not being a Bitcoin reserve. I say a lot of people, but it's really just the Bitcoin maximalists that are upset about it, right? These guys are very smart. They're crypto OGs. They've been in the game for a while, and I understand the reasoning, kind of, but they aren't open-minded enough. What they're really showing is their refusal. They're like digging their heels in the ground and kicking and screaming. I gotta get my camera back on here. Hold on. At the notion of anything besides Bitcoin being considered a legitimate cryptocurrency or form of payments that could be accepted or utilized in the world, right? The reality is there are a lot of cryptos that exist. Cardano is one of them that have better things fundamentally built into its protocol than Bitcoin. Bitcoin's the best crypto. It absolutely is. BTC is the best crypto. Why? How do we know that? Well, it's the top dog. It's number one. It literally is number one. Nothing. You can't tell me it's not the best. Look at the scoreboard. It absolutely is. It's one of the most decentralized, secure networks that'll ever exist. Right? It's very sound money, and it's also a very I would even say more so than a sound money. It is a sound store of value. Right? But that doesn't mean that there can't be other projects like Cardano, which are very sound projects and have potential for the long run, right? For the long term. Of course, Bitcoin probably has longevity built into its DNA better than any other crypto that exists, maybe with the exception of a few. Cardano could be that exception, or certainly other cryptos in the top 100 could be that exception. Maybe a crypto we've never heard, but I'm just saying the notion that the United States Reserve, or that Donald Trump is losing credibility with the crypto markets because he's incorporated all these other cryptos into the United States Crypto Reserve. I think that's just the Bitcoin maximalist talking. Don't let them fool you guys. This is a good thing. And I'm sure I'm talking to the right people whenever I say it's a good thing. You guys, you understand that this is only good for Cardano, and it will likely trigger, if the United States is expressing interest in investing in Cardano and having it in a strategic reserve, then that would imply that the rest of the world too, other governments or big entities around the world would probably take an interest just on that notion alone. They don't even have to know anything about Cardano. They maybe they never even heard of it before, but as soon as Donald Trump says it's going into our strategic crypto reserve, they're going to start looking into it. So that's only a bullish thing for Cardano and for crypto. That's the thing. Bitcoin maximalists, why they're pissed is because anything that isn't Bitcoin, it just takes away from their pet orange project that does a 10x in a cycle, and they're upset with that because it's like it can't grow more than that. They're upset with the idea that other people could put money into another project and see something that outperforms Bitcoin. They just don't want to see it. I don't know, man. It feels like hating vibes, but maybe they are. Maybe they are. Coming from it from a good place. They just want the best for the world, and Bitcoin might be the best option for that. I don't know. Maybe it is, maybe it isn't. I think we should encourage innovation. We should encourage other projects to grow and look to other projects, not just one project, as a means of a store of value or as a means of transacting cash, decentralized bases. It's good to have multiple options. If anything in the world, if I've learned anything in this life, you guys, it is good to not be cornered in the markets. It's good to have options. You should always have options. But enough talk, man. Let's get into the TA. Okay, looking at this thing on a monthly time frame here, from last cycle's high to the bear cycle low, we've rejected the golden ratio. We found resistance here. Found support at the 382. Very common maneuver to do. The next target area undeniably will be the 786, 886 zone. And it wouldn't surprise me in the least if you actually went between your 886 and the 100 area. The 100 is that gray line there. So that would be something between about, anything from $1.80 to $3.10 by the end of this move. You're at 93 cents now. Yes. Yeah. You're on your way, you guys. You heard me correctly. Probably by the end of March, you'll be up another 100%. By the end of April, maybe a total 140% from here, if not something as much as 220%, 230%. Cardano is one of the top 10 cryptos, one of the top, I think it's in the top 5, right? It says top 8, but if we took out USDC, because it's just dollars, so it doesn't deserve to be there in my opinion. I don't know why this is still a thing. They should take that off. They should have it. They should have a whole separate page for stablecoins. You know what I mean? It shouldn't be included in the market cap rankings in my opinion. But whatever it is, I think Cardano would be number 7 by that metric alone. Number 6 without Tether. Okay, so number 6. It's not the top 5, but it is in the top 10. Okay. The average crypto outside the top 10, I'm expecting them to move anything from a 3x to a 4x. Okay. Cardano is not the average crypto. It's inside the top 10. It's got a very high market cap. Okay. With the newfound reserve status in the United States, that could encourage it to grow and outperform the average altcoin. If it were to do that, we'd have to see something that's on the lines of above a 4x, which would be a 300% growth, right? Something like this. By the end of April, which would mean Cardano's at new all-time highs. We're pressing $4 by the end of April, but likely because it is such a robust market cap and it's a behemoth of its own nature, I would think that the best we could hope for is to at least stay on par with the altcoin markets, not get outperformed, but keep up with them. Something that's at about 230% makes sense to me as maximum potential. Inevitably, you're going to go higher. Inevitably, Cardano, you are breaking out to new all-time highs this cycle. I believe you're going to see $15 prices, maybe $30 prices. Anywhere and everything in between is game, absolutely. The minimum target technically would be $6.22, but I don't think you stop there, man. I really do believe $15 is on the table. That'd be a 16x from here. Cardano's market cap right now is 33 billion. That would give you a market cap that's well over $400 billion, just under $500 billion if I'm doing my math correctly. Maybe it's over $500 billion, but that's a multi $100 billion market cap, you guys. That's insane numbers, okay? And with these insane numbers, I mean, who knows? Cardano, maybe it does twice that. Maybe it does go all the way up to about $1 trillion. Maybe that's exactly what happens. I think I did the math before. I remember it's like $28, just under $28, that would give you a $1 trillion market cap. Certainly, if you were to go up to this area at about $30 there, you'd probably find resistance there because it's the 1886 and psychological resistance of $1 trillion. I'm not saying that's where Cardano goes. I'm just saying with the fact that it is incorporated in the United States crypto reserve, strategic crypto reserve, whatever, it's definitely on the table. If you don't accept that Cardano could be worth $1 trillion in market cap valuation, about $30 in price by the end of the cycle, maybe you'll sell too soon. But at the same time, it's complete, and I accept that as a possibility. I would more expect that we probably are around $15 to $20, somewhere in this area, by the end of the cycle. And again, I don't expect that we'd be at $6.22, but I accept it as a possibility. However, it doesn't really make sense because with all the bullish narratives going on with Cardano, Cardano's got a new fire under it like it's never had before. I just can't see it hitting its minimum targets. No, it doesn't make sense to me. Not when you're moving up like this. Anyways, that's end of cycle stuff. Let's reflect back on the short-term stuff, end of month stuff, end of this move stuff, and we'll move on and end this video here, okay? Weekly, bouncing off the 50, getting into the 60, that's a nice thing. If we close this week red, we might be rejecting the 60 area, and that's not necessarily encouraging, but it's not a bad thing either. We can recover and see higher prices still. It would be nice on that note if this week we're down about 17% now, if we could come up and close this week above like $1.10 or higher. If this week closes green in the next 4 days, 8 hours, and I think it can, that would be very encouraging, you guys. Let's look at that, see if that's a possibility. Well, on the daily time frame, you've broken out of your downtrend, right? A lot of cryptos. Cardano led the rally. Cardano is one of the coins that led the rally in November. It outperformed a lot of coins. XRP, Stellar Lumens, Cardano, Algo even. I'm probably HBAR. There's more that led it to. Make no mistake, a lot of cryptos are still in their downtrends, respectively, on the daily RSI. Cardano's broken out of it. Again, leading the markets here. I think it's going to be a market leader throughout the whole rest of the cycle, honestly. And that should be obvious by now. From a high here to a low there, you hit the 886, 786 area, pulled back to the 0.5382 zone. Very common to do when you move up, and I think it's going to be soon. I don't assume that you're going to carry out this pace where you're moving 72% up a day. I think that was a one-off. You're probably not going to see growth like that again this cycle. I mean, over like a 3-day period, over a week period, sure, but in a day, probably not. But maybe it's possible, I suppose. But anything's possible. Crypto's crazy, you guys. If you think that it can't outperform anything it's done this cycle, then you might be mistaken there. You know, and I'm saying that now. It's not that I would say that I don't think it's going to happen, but I accept it as a possibility still. But likely, whenever we do progress, whenever we do see higher prices than $1.32, which I think is coming by the end of March, I very much expect, maybe even by the end of this week, hell, who knows? But definitely by the end of March, I would expect that we are not just above $1.32, but we're probably pressing $2 by the end of March. We're probably up around $1.70, $2.38, somewhere in this zone by the end of March, leaving the door open to press higher targets by the end of April. And I would assume that we are, by the end of April, if not at new all-time highs, at least somewhere around all-time highs, around $3 or so. You're at 94 cents now. So Cardano's outlook for the coming weeks, days, months, it's very bullish. I don't think I have anything else that I want to say, so I'm going to end the video there. Let's look at the ribbon real quick. Let's actually do this real quick. ADA. By the way, shout out to the Dragon Riders with Bitcoin Cash, man. Having a good day, that's for sure. Looking at the weekly time frame, good. This is the kind of reaction you want to have with the weekly ribbon. Good. Monthly time frame, yep, keeping it bullish. Looks great. Phenomenal. 2 very significant time frames. We love to see that. If you're not familiar with what this is, it's the EMA ribbons. It's got like the 20 EMA, which is the exponential moving average, right? And then down to the 55. So it's just a bunch of moving averages, exponential moving averages that are in succession of each other, and it creates this ribbon essentially. Whenever the ribbon crosses bullish, it's a good thing. Whenever it crosses bearish, it's a bad thing, and you do expect to find resistance in this ribbon, or sometimes right at the ribbon here. We're finding support now though. Looking at the 3-day ribbon, oh yeah, super bullish. Whenever you contract like this, whenever the ribbon gets really contracted and the price is below it, and then you shoot up like this, that sets you up for some expansion to happen. Anytime you expand, that's when the price expands too. So good, looking very good on all fronts so far. Daily ribbon now, you have it cross bearish, you've broken up, you pulled back to find support on it instead of rejecting down. Kind of the opposite of what you did here with the 3-day, where you came down and then you rejected up, right? It's kind of the opposite here, because instead of going lower, you actually found support on it, and now you're looking to flip this thing on the bullish note. Likely by the end of this week, this thing will flip bullish. So going into next week, going into the rest of this month, and into April, you'll have a bullish outlook on the ribbon, on the daily aspect, 3-day aspect, weekly aspect, monthly aspect. It's all bullish all around, man. And you're going to have a good time. It's party time for Cardano, for the ADA community, until the end of the year, until the end of the cycle. That's my thoughts. So I got nothing else to say. Hit the like button, you guys. Subscribe if you want to see more content like this. And I appreciate you all for being here. Oh, man, I didn't know the camera was off the whole time, but that's okay. All right, take it easy. Bye-bye.